Welcome, everybody. My name is Lori Graham, and I am the founder of the Hug Movement. And today I'm going to be talking to one of my best friends, Michele Workman, about something very exciting that's going on in her life. I hope you guys will tune in and listen to all the amazingness that's going on and what's about to happen in her future. Welcome, Michele.
Hi, friend. Love you. Thank you so much for being on. So excited.
We will try to stay on topic today, but you know when girlfriends get together, we tend to chat a lot. So I do have my notes. I'm not texting. I'm not, not paying attention, but I want to make sure that we hit all the notes. So I'm super excited for what's going on in your life. I'm honored to be your friend and to walk this journey with you and to just promote you and get you out there. And if you don't know, if you're one of my friends and you don't know Michele, please get to know her. You probably heard me talk about her on one or more occasion. If you're Michele's friends and you don't know me, well, she befriended me when I had a short stint in Texas, and she has just been a ride or die ever since. She supported us at the Hug Movement, and she is definitely part of our Hug family, and she's just my sister girl. So those are our introductions. Let's just jump into what today is all about. So I have a few questions here I'm going to ask you, and you need to just answer away. But if you go too long, I'm going to give you, I should have had a buzzer. I'm going to give you a little. So first question I want you to share with everybody who's watching this is, what is your passion in life?
Oh my goodness, Lori. First of all, I again want to say thank you. You are one of my best friends and I love you. So I had to get that in there. My passion in life is this, Lori. I love Jesus. Jesus is absolutely my passion. And I love sharing Jesus with other people, telling his truth, his story, and then watching people's lives absolutely transform after coming to knowledge of who he truly is. And so Jesus is my sole passion. I also have a lot of passions that stem from his goodness. So health and fitness and, helping people and serve people in that area, getting in shape. As you know, you actually featured me on the Hug platform, and I was able to do and challenge people to do the 520 challenge, little things like that. So health and fitness and also doing sports ministry. My background was sports for a long time. So I've got a lot of passions things that I'm passionate about, but my sole passion and sole purpose in life and the reason I was created is to share Jesus with people.
And you do it so well with such finesse. It just literally rolls off your tongue, where some people are very nervous when they talk about Jesus with people, and you can tell it's truly your calling to minister to people. So when did you become a believer, and how long have you been sharing Jesus' story?
Well, great question. I actually, many people are in awe when I say this. I have met a few people that actually can say the same thing. Now, I became an actual follower and believer in Jesus at 4 years of age. That's right, 4 years of age. And I won't go into the details of it, even though it's fun. I'll just give you the cliff notes. We went to one VBS, Vacation Bible School. We were not raised in church. My parents divorced at 7, but before that, our mom would try to get us dressed up. She made our clothes. We didn't have a lot of money growing up. And so we would go to Vacation Bible School or something. We'd get out of the house and go, yay, we can't wait to get out of the house. And I remember singing, tell everyone, tell the story true. Jesus washed away my sins. He'll do the same for you. And something just kind of came over me. And so mom would read David and Goliath Bible story. So I would hear about Jesus, but it wasn't until one day an evangelist came in and he said, by the sound of my voice, if anybody wants to receive Jesus Christ as your Lord and Savior. And I, as a 4-year-old, popped up out of my chair. Unbeknownst to me, I was just compelled, and I ran down the front and I accepted him then. So my mom verified it a few months ago because I recounted that whole story. She goes, I'm shocked you even remember it in that detail. So I became a believer at 4 years of age, but I didn't understand it until college, what that really meant to truly surrender my entire life for his cause and his purposes until about 20 years of age. So I'd say 4 technically, but 20 years of age until I really understood what it meant to be a follower and disciple of Jesus.
Wow, that's amazing. 4 years old. That's awesome. So you mentioned serving Jesus. So what are some ways in your, we won't say the age, but in your time frame of from 4 until now, you have served Jesus?
Oh, thanks again for that question. So basically, I mean, I'll go ahead and be real with it. I appreciate you trying to conceal that. But, from 20, I'm 41 years of age. I'm okay with putting that out there. God has enabled me for the last 20 years or so to do a plethora of things. And everybody's like, oh, you're like a missionary. And I was like, yeah, I guess, sometimes I don't like the things that come along with the missionary, life. And we can get into that a little bit later, just to be honest. But the things that God has enabled me to do was utilize my gift of sport. Basketball was my sport. I was able to play collegiately along with my twin sister, and we were a package deal. So we went to the University of Oklahoma, and we were able to pursue our dreams. And God blessed us to realize that. But little did I know later, God would utilize this gift of basketball to then show me the world. And when he showed me the world was sports mission work, we would go into, we'd travel internationally, we'd go into countries, we travel with former NBA players. It was a wonderful time. They would play the national team, the men would. Kelly and I, my twin, were the only two women on the team that would go to these countries, and the hopes one day we would develop the women's side. Now, long story short, we would just train kids. We would have camps. We'd have clinics. Then when we come back here, we'd do the same. We had basketball camps. We prayed for the girls, things like that. So we, continued on with the sports arena, if you will, and then started helping people, with holistic approach of healing. So again, that means helping people with their diets, motivating them to get back in shape. Also worked in the church. So the last 20 years, not only was I a sports missionary, but I did sports ministry and actual ministry, planning a church. We went out at the college and high school campuses. We would meet with kids, got to sing some on the praise team. So I was able to wear tons of hats in the past and just get a lot of experience. And you see the good, the bad, and the ugly with everything, no matter what we do in life. But I've been blessed and to be able to do those things, and they be actually in alignment with my passion and my gift mix. And so I'm hoping to continue to do that for as long as I live, as long as God gets the glory.
So I love that you have been able to travel around the world. I love, like, you have a map and you have all the places that you've traveled, and I have zero. I barely left the United States. So speaking of traveling the world, isn't there something exciting coming up very shortly that you're going to be embarking on that you'd like to share with us?
Yes, Lori, there is actually. And you know what, sister? I just pray that one day we will get to go on a trip together, and it didn't have to be far. But if you have a desire to get outside the country, let's go, sis, because it will be amazing. So, but yes, I actually do have something amazing. This is something that I was not looking for. It found me, and how many of us know in life that God brings opportunities across our path, just completely out of the blue. And this one I tried to ignore, and I'll explain what it is in a second, but I tried to ignore this one because of what I'm going to explain to you. Some of the parts I said earlier, there's some things that I'm just kind of not on board with when you live the missionary lifestyle, and I'll tell you that in a second. But there is a leadership development, it's sports leadership development, school program certification, and missionary work, working with people over in South Africa, the Southern Cape area. And it will be for a 3-month stint. And there I will be stretched. And a lot of my friends who I have, met their acquaintance 3-4 years ago and have become really like solid brothers and sisters in the Lord. They're amazing people and they're my friends. Those who have gone through this have said, wow, Michele, they told me 2 things. Here's the reaction when they found out that I was selected. You have to be nominated for this program. It's not just, hey, I'm going to find this on the internet. I heard about it. Let me sign up, pay for it, and then I can go. You actually have to be nominated, and then they pray over all the applications that come in, and then they choose based off of prayer and just who they believe is good timing for. And so this year, my name came up, and I'm very, very grateful and honored. And so anyways, 3 months is a long time. There's a lot to, anytime God tells us to do something, hopefully we're in a place where we'll say, sure, it doesn't matter what I have to do. I'm going to do exactly what you say, Lord. And there was a time in my life, in my earlier years, that I lived that way. I went to 2 different states completely with no job, no money, anything like that. But because God told me to go, I went, and guess what? He provided. And so this is reminiscent of that. And so now I find myself going, oh my gosh, it's 3 months. It's in a continent, and it's in a place I've always wanted to travel. I feel like God gave me a little wink and a kiss and said, I got you. I've been wanting to go to South Africa area for years. And so not only did he meet the desire of my heart, but now he's putting me in a position, I believe, that is wanting to stretch me and further me in the things that he's called me to do at this season of my life. So that's incredible. And so I'm excited. And I leave in 6 weeks, Lori. So that's why I'm kind of going, oh my gosh. And there's a lot that I have to do to prepare and procure and secure the funds and everything like that, that will enable me to go. So where he guides, he provides. So I'm believing that happen, right, sister? I mean, you told me if it's his will, it's his bill, and I'm like, so I'm grabbing.
God's got you, boo. I've actually thought about changing my slogan to say, what is it? Oh man, I forgot. Something with boo and God's got you. Like, head up, boo, God's got you. So it is true. Like it's God's will, it's God's bill. Won't he do it? We already know this. We've had this conversation 1,000 times. But so you leave, what is the date?
July 8th. I leave July 8th.
So won't he do it, friends, family that's watching this? Won't he do it? I know he will do it. But let's keep it real. I always like to keep things funky. I like to keep them real. You have to move. You have to move your whole house. You have to arrange things for the next 3 months. You have to come up with the money. And I think that's just part of being obedient to God, is making that first step and allowing him to provide the way. And on the flip side, people like me and you guys that are watching, this is where we get to get involved. This is where we get to be part of her journey and her blessing by standing with her, providing the things that she needs, financial support, all of that. That's where we get to go. It may not be our time or our calling to go to Africa, but by sowing into her, to somebody like this, you are actually getting to take the journey with her. And trust and believe. I'm kind of have control issues, so I have a little bit anxiety about this whole thing. So that's why we're on here. That's why we're doing this interview, because I want to help spread the word so people know, 1, how incredibly awesome she is, 2, that she has been called and chosen for this, and 3, she is simply taking the steps to be obedient to what God has called her to and trusting that he is going to provide. So what is the next step to prepare to go, and what are the needs? Let's just get them out there. You guys get a pen, get a paper, get your phone, whatever it is. Let's hear them.
Oh, wow. Thank you, Lori, so much. And again, you have been instrumental, encourager in this season of my life, and just as a friend. So I want to say thank you very much to your words and your words of wisdom, encouragement, and your kindness to even allow me to come on here and share this with everyone. And you know what? You said you're a little bit, you can be a control freak or whatever. Like, I'll be honest with you, because this is the part I just want to be honest with everybody viewing this. When God asks us to do something and we're probably not all the way on board with it, at the end of the day, we have to go, God, but I'm going to serve you no matter what it takes. And then I have to kind of have to silence that or reconcile what's going on inside of me, because the fundraising part is my least favorite part. And I have no problem asking for homeless, families or child trafficking or anything like that. I have no problem asking anyone for a cause. But it comes to like having to pay for my own, for the last 15 years, it's been 15 years since I've actually raised support for my own self. So I feel like I'm a bit rusty. And the needs of this school are the following. It costs $8,500 for the 3 months, for that's room, school, board, materials, travel. Then it's an additional $2,000 for the round trip airfare. And so that's what I'm looking at. And how I look at it, I was like, Lord, 6 weeks out, I don't know how you're going to do it. I just said yes. You said go. I said yes. And so this is what I'm presenting for others. And I don't think you said it so succinctly, sister, when you said some people are sent and others will come and partner with those who are being sent. Apostle Paul, actually in the word, everybody likes to argue about this sometimes, and I'll just only briefly mention this, because it is something, if people don't understand and see the vision behind this. They said, well, Paul pinched tents all the time and he didn't need money from anyone. Well, if you read all of the word and all of his epistles and letters, you will actually see he wasn't pinching tents all the time. There was a season where he did that and he made money. Hello, I've done the same. I've been an employee for many, many years. And then there's also times where he's actually asking and encouraging others to join with him in their resources so he can go. So so it's seasonal in people's lives. Others are full-time support raising for decades in their whole lives. I have not been that. I've been a little bit of a mix of both. I prefer making my own funds and not having to ask anybody, but sometimes God goes, really? So I'm now in this position where I'm going, okay, Lord, I believe this is way bigger than me, what you're doing. And if I can lay this out before people who actually have the ability to want to partner with a person who actually goes, and they understand that whatever is done over there and whatever is done on the other side, the end results, and actually in the future, whoever souls come into the kingdom of heaven, you get credit for it. And the same way, it happens both ways. So whether you're praying for me, and I pray for you. Whether you give financially, guess what? Everything that I do, you come with me. And so, and that's the model that was set up in the Word as well. So you have different combinations. Some are very, very financially stable to where they can fund everything and go. I eventually, truth be told, want to be able to get to that spot in my life where I'm not only funding myself, I'm funding a lot more people and going as well. But until then, I'm submitted to the Lord and obeying him. And again, I appreciate you bringing this need and this exciting opportunity out in front of your audience to see, hey, is God speaking to anybody that wants to join forces and team? Because again, this is a 3-month ordeal, but it doesn't stop at 3 months. There's going to be, there's going to be a ministry plan that I'm going to be developing and then implementing for the next 3 to 5 years in these areas. And it will have something to do with sports and health and fitness for sure. But there may be other things that God speaks to me about while I'm over there.
Yes, absolutely. And I just want to say that I moved twice in the span of a 3-year period. So not only is there these things that she needs to put in place prior to going, but when she comes back, there's going to be transition. There's not a home waiting for her, although she always has a place at my house. There's not a job that's waiting for her. So when I answered the call of Jesus and took the leap of faith like she's doing now, God gave us a blessing and we had no idea what it was at the time. And so I'm believing the same blessing, the same, you know how you can pull down somebody's testimony for yourself. What I'm believing for her is through this video, through this 3 months, all of the money and then some will be raised, because she's asking clearly what she needs is to go. But God, how many of you know God is not just, a giver of some things? He's a giver of all things. His word says he wants to do even more for us. How much more will he do for us who is now doing his work? I actually just was reading that verse today talking about, Jesus has to go so that we can do even greater things in his name. And so I'm believing, you guys, write this down, because if it is written, it is real. Write down $20,000. That is what I'm believing for. I am believing for $20,000, and it is for his kingdom. And it is always a blessing to be a blessing. And so whether you're on the list of prayer warriors, I would love to just, I know that we're going to have, a team of just your prayer warriors to support you while you go. But even if you are not in that position, if you are not financially able to give a $20,000 check, I believe that you're going to pray for that $20,000. And so that's what God blessed us with. And I am believing that is going to be back to her. She's going to receive that same blessing in Jesus' name, because she is faithful. And sometimes I feel like the bigger the risk, the bigger the blessing. So, I'm real big on, okay, let me get my backup plan. So worst case scenario is this. But what I think Jesus loves is when we're like, I don't have a backup plan, God. You are my backup plan. So I'm super excited for that to come in. So how can they reach you? How can they get a hold of you? First of all, how can they be part of your prayer team, your financial team partner? Like, how does all that happen?
Sure. Thank you so much, Lori. You're amazing, and I receive that in Jesus' name. Um, First of all, I'm going to leave with you my email address. You can contact me directly, and indicate, hey, I saw this on, and please tell me where you saw this. If you saw this on Lori's platform or Hug Movement or whatever, wherever this is going to be viewed, I would love to hear how you saw it and heard about it, and then indicate whether you want to be on the prayer warrior team, where I will be giving you prayer points before I go in. Now, mind you, when I'm over there for 3 months, it's going to be pretty off grid. I won't have a lot of communication, except maybe once a week, if that. So, so I'll be giving you tons of prayer points. Trust me, there's a lot. I'll be spiritually preparing. Physically, I have to need to prepare. Running wise, lifting weights, getting strong in my body. I just came off of a sickness, so there's a lot that I'm going to need to do. But Michele Workman 22 at yahoo.com. That's MicheleWorkman 22, the numbers 22 at yahoo.com. And if you wouldn't mind indicating, I want to be on your prayer team, or I want to be on your financial giving team. Plus, I'll pray for you too, of course. But maybe you can do both. Maybe you can do one or the other, and that is fine. Just let me know which one you would like to do. Right now, for those of you who, there's a couple of people, I actually talked to a friend of mine who's a banker, and we were going through some of these options. Since it's 6 weeks out, a lot of people, depending on how much they give, may want to do Zelle. Now, I don't know if you've heard that. Zelle, you don't get tax deductibility at all. This doesn't, I don't think you can claim it, but you can give, that's a bank-to-bank transaction, and it's very quick and it's instant and it's simple. All you'd have to do is plug in that email, MicheleWorkman22 at yahoo.com. Or you can give for tax deductibility, meaning you can actually do a charitable giving, and I have a way that you can do that as well. And so those things are being set up right now. But if you email me and indicate, hey, I want to be on your financial team, or I want to be on your prayer team, or both, you can indicate how much you want to give, or maybe you don't want to. I respect, through the years when I've done this before, some people want to remain anonymous. I respect that as well. However, whenever I will send you a link, you'll probably need to write me anyway, I'll send you a link. And if you want the tax donation ability, then I'll send you a link to that website to where you can get that credit. You can give by credit card as well. So you can always do a check. And I'll have to send you an email with all these specifics, because it's not complicated, but it's just too much to say right here and right now. But if 20, let me just give you something right now. Lori mentioned an amazing figure, and it's something I've never honestly ever asked for in my life. I've raised support before for my own salary. Of course, I needed more than 20,000 to live on in a year, but this short amount of time for an amazing opportunity that I believe God has called me to go to. When she said that, if I was able to, if God just pulled that in and I was able to get that figure, I'm going to tell you that would enable me to take a whole lot of weight off. So when I do come back, I would have a little bit of wiggle room to actually start implementing some of these things right away. So whatever God provides, if you guys are down with joining the team, whatever team you want to do, I just want to say thank you in advance. And these are not light little things. And sometimes I know people roll the eyes like, oh, here's the ask. But there are going to be those of you who hear the sound of this and understand what true partnerships are. And I'm telling you, when I had a support team before, every soul that came into the kingdom, God doesn't go, oh, good job, Michele, because the Bible says in Proverbs, he who wins souls is wise. And those of you who actually sent me to go, you get that credit too. So, and I know you're not doing it for credit, but that's the reality of it. So don't think that your dollars are just being sent into a black hole that doesn't get used for which it's supposed to be used for. And I just want to say thank you in advance to those of you who are watching this, who will be praying about it. And maybe your heart leaps and you're saying, yes, sign me up. Contact me, MicheleWorkman22 at yahoo.com. Or you can go on Instagram and you can find my handle is at Michele, Michele _trains, TRAINS.
Awesome. And I just want to say, if you're watching this and you've ever had an encounter with Michele, honestly, you know that she would give you, and in fact, let me just tell a fun story since we have a little bit of time left. I went to Texas to visit Michele. She was not home, so Kelly let us in. I saw a pair of shoes that I loved, and they were expensive. And she literally handed them to me. and gave me the shoes. And she insisted that I have these shoes, and I still have them. I should have probably put them on. I didn't think of it before, but just so happens we're the same shoe size. I mean, a girl couldn't get any more lucky, right? But that's just the type of person that Michele is. She will give you anything she has. And so I know that if you've ever met her, you've felt this from her. And so, I mean, prayer is just as important as the financial piece of it. And so I'm asking you, because I've always been such a prayer warrior, join me in some gangster prayer for my girl, Michele. And it's about the faith. Do you have faith that God's going to bring in 20K? I have faith because it happened to me not once, but twice. So God took us to Texas, gave us a $20,000 increase. He brought us back to California and gave us another increase. And so I am speaking that into her life, and I am declaring that over this. It's the opportunity to go. It's not that she saw this school online and said, hey, I really like to go. She was chosen. And it's a hard school. All of us cannot go to this. And so, and like she said, she's going to be 3 months, no social media, no contact. She's just going to be learning, grinding. It's not going to be an easy time, but she's doing it out of obedience. So I'm going to ask you to give out of obedience. If you feel it on your heart, then reach out to her. We'll also have her contact information in the body of this message so that you can easily just click on it and you can contact her right away. So any other last minute things you want to share from your heart? Anything?
Well, again, Lori, love you so much. And thank you so much. Those shoes were yours, sister. Okay, they were yours. I am so, listen, for the record, the other side of that she goes, oh, I like those shoes, you know, and I don't even know how we got into it. I was like, they're yours. She goes, oh, you know, I think she said, you can give this. I was like, actually, I was getting rid of them anyway, and they're yours. And you just know when somebody was supposed to have something, and it just makes you feel that even more like, oh my gosh, it's the owner. So anyways, girl, you need to rock those with your bad self. One of my favorite scriptures is, and it's found in Philippians, let us live up to what we have already obtained or attained. Again, that is, let us live up to what we have already attained. And that means in the Lord. So I would encourage anyone today, whether you're watching this, you may not join the team. That's okay. I know Lori's heart, and I know my heart is the same in this, that we love Jesus and we love people. And I pray that you're encouraged, because maybe some of you may be in a job. I was in a job for many years, guys, in the church realm, in the church field. And I knew that there was something that God was trying to bring to the forefront in the right season and timing. And some of you may be in a job and thinking, I want to do what she's doing, or I want to do more, or I feel like I'm created to do more. And my encouragement to you is, and I have a question for you as well, but my encouragement to you is, remember who you are in Jesus. First and foremost, know who you are in your identity in Jesus Christ, and know He is a good Lord and Father, and He has such wonderful plans for you. So if you're feeling that, don't suppress it, don't drown it out, and certainly don't allow fear to keep you say, well, this will never happen. You create with your words, and so you want to line your words up with what heaven's already saying about you. So my question is to you, what is that? What do you believe God is saying to you in this hour? And be the best person you can be where you're at right now. And then in due season, maybe an opportunity will come out of the blue like it did me. Like she said, I wasn't looking for this. I didn't ask to go to this. I was approached. I prayed about, and trust me, I inquired tons of questions because I was like, oh my gosh, I actually was trying to push it away. I can't push God. I will not push God away. So don't push God away. Live up to what you have already attained through Jesus Christ, which is everything. He said He's given us everything pertaining to godliness. And so, and living life. So I want to encourage you, maybe something that was said today with us in this interview that may have sparked something in you. Water that seed and pray and ask God to see what He would have you to do, because, you know, we need to be strong. The body of Christ needs to be strong. We need to be together, encourage one another. So that's what I want to leave with everybody. Live up to what you already attained. And if you don't know what you've already attained, get back into that word. Get back to loving Jesus and worshiping Him and talking with Him, not in duty or a checklist, just sitting before Him and saying, God, what do you want from me in this season? I love you. and I can't wait to do what you called me to do, because that's where we're going to find life, is being in walking in the obedience and following Jesus every single day. So there you have it.
Awesome. So good, guys. Again, the information will be with this email or whatever platform you're seeing this on. We will put the information to contact Michele below. And most of all, just like she said, answer the call, because you will never be disappointed when you answer the call of Jesus. Thanks so much.